The idea of a game that will never die is a fascinating one, considering the fact that several thousand games are released every single year, and a majority of them end up being unplayed or abandoned. For the purposes of this video, by games that will never die, I'm talking about games which will continue to be played forever, whether they get updates or not. Usually, a popular game has a huge player count in the beginning, but soon enough, due to a lack of regular updates or irrelevancy, the game inevitably falls off. And this is not a bad thing by any means. It's perfectly normal for a game to be just enjoyed by people and then just left behind. If it's an inherently good game, it's still gonna stand the test of time and replayed by people every so often and praised years after its release. But to expect a game to last in the spotlight forever is too hopeful at best and completely illogical at worst. Yet, several games still seem to do this, being played by people years or even decades after it's released, with an active community, streamers, speedrunners, and much more. I believe that there are some very specific reasons for this. Let's go over some of these games that have not died and possibly never will. The first one that probably comes to your mind is Minecraft, and that's for good reason. After 15 years, it's still relevant and even the highest selling game ever. One major reason that might be cited is the game's sandbox nature. I think this, paired with the several complex varied mechanics, creates a wonderful experience for any player. Whether you want to create complex builds, explore the caves and world, formulate redstone contraptions, or commit arson on a regular basis. The game fits right into that childlike wonder that anything is possible in a game. It has probably the largest community owing to its even higher player count. And because of that, there are just so many mods, texture packs, game modes, servers which are usually all very unique. And this adds hundreds of hours of more playability to the game and can even deliver the experience of playing a completely new game. The multiplayer aspect of the game is another major benefit. Playing a game with friends is already really good, and in Minecraft it opens up even more varied possibilities. There are also the constant updates pushed by the developers, which always keeps the game at the center of discussion. Some updates like the cave update have improved the game by leaps and bounds, also helping keep the game relevant, and the fact that the updates are free is very helpful. This isn't a Minecraft video, but I think this more in-depth explanation of Minecraft is useful to understand the next games I discuss as well, as they all share some common characteristics. Subscribe if you watched this far, it would really help me out a ton. The next game we talk about has to of course be the funny shooting game with funny YouTuber man Fortnite. In a genre where several games have risen up, stayed for a while and died, Fortnite has somehow managed to cement itself as a definitive free-to-play battle royale game ever since its inception. I think the game owes this to several factors, like the unique style it had in the beginning when every other battle royale was serious and gritty. This, paired along with the fun items, guns and traversal mechanics, really made this game notable. But I think Epic Games made their best choices later in the period of the game. Although they started off by only adding a few new game modes like creative, soon enough they understood that Fortnite had become much more than just a simple battle royale game and was a gaming hub of sorts. And they capitalized on this with several new game modes like Lego, Festival Mode, Zero Build, Rocket Racing, and of course the thousands of user-made games in creative, which, with the help of the Unreal editor, are worthy enough to stand on their own. Epic Games has essentially widened their fishing net to grab the largest demographic as possible, expand their user base and monetize on them. When we move on to monetization, we absolutely have to discuss the skins, cosmetics and now the songs, Lego skins and cars. They've made so much money from this that they can afford insane collaborations like Peter Griffin and God himself. A lack of updates usually ends up killing other multiplayer games, and Fortnite knows that. Every time a bit of doubt comes into the community's mind that Fortnite might be falling off, they introduce a new update like the OG map update, which brings the game back into the spotlight. We might as well go 3 for 3 and discuss the third big game with fun graphics, Roblox. It's very similar to Carlson.
Carlson, you're wondering what it is. It's just a game
I don't have much to say about Roblox other than the fact that it's probably the first game to create this formula Fortnite has now. Roblox has really provided its game creators with the tools to create varied games. But this doesn't get talked about as much because there isn't much of an older audience for the game compared to Minecraft and Fortnite. Still, it's really popular and there are some Roblox games which have broken into the mainstream as well. One game that has really surprised me in this regard of never dying is Team Fortress 2, because it clearly goes against everything we've discussed so far. I haven't played this game myself, so I'm just going to be going off what the community is saying. Apparently, this game hasn't had a major update in several years and it's still going strong. The main reasons I can see is that the game is free, fun to play with friends, and does have the backing of several hundred updates, which keeps the game varied. There's also a cosmetic system and trading, and it's pretty iconic in pop culture. Apparently, any game that could replace Team Fortress 2 somehow messes up and fails to do so, according to this Reddit Reddit user. There is talk that Team Fortress 2 is in fact dying due to its reduced player count. Others say that the game will never die, but we'll just have to wait and see. The last two games I have to discuss are Undertale and CSGO. Undertale of course is popular because of many reasons, whether it be its unique gameplay, mechanics, wonderful story, or its charm and replayability. It also has a lot of mods and community support. And of course, it has a very strong foothold in pop culture and is still relevant. CSGO is another game that seems to fall into this category. And some of the main reasons I've seen are that the game is replayable, balanced, and finally fun, along with some other mechanics we've discussed previously. I've only discussed games which could never die, and there are many franchises which could never die as well, like Pokemon, GTA, or sports games. These are franchises, and it's very rare for a single game in a franchise to never die, though there are cases like that. There's Skyrim, GTA 5, and many more. Now, I've only discussed some of these games that are popular to understand what the secret is, so I'm sure I'm missing out on a ton of other examples. Do let me know some of them in the comments. That's pretty much it for the video. I'd be surprised if you watched this far, but if you have, thank you. I really do appreciate it. Also remember to recharge your Game Pass subscription.
Rotate the first banana. Go.